Musician Tory Lanez convicted of shooting rapper Megan Thee Stallion.
A Louisiana rapper has received a pardon from President Trump. Kentrell Golden, who goes by NBA Youngboy, had pleaded guilty in December to possessing weapons as a felon.
My name is Sunstar Peterson, well known as the father of Tory Lanez.
Y'all better buckle up because what I'm about to tell you is going to blow your mind. Tory Lanez might be coming home, and I'm not talking about years from now. I'm talking about soon, like really soon. And Megan Thee Stallion? She's reportedly spiraling. Years of courtroom battles, public accusations, and social media wars are about to hit a whole new level of chaos. Fresh evidence just dropped that's making people question everything they thought they knew about that night. The story everyone was sure about? It's crumbling. And the person who might have actually pulled that trigger? It's not who you think. Now Megan's facing the biggest nightmare of her career because if Tory walks free with a presidential pardon, her entire world is about to flip upside down. The backlash she's been dealing with for years is nothing compared to what's coming. And trust me, the internet is ready to go nuclear. Presidential pardons are flying and Tory's name is on the list. Look, this pardon situation isn't coming out of nowhere. Over the last few months, we've seen a serious pattern developing. NBA Youngboy got hit with a presidential pardon for his weapons case and walked right out. Todd and Julie Chrisley
are setting the record straight amid ongoing rumors that the couple was on the rocks.
Those reality TV stars who got locked up for fraud and tax stuff? Pardoned. Even the January 6 people got blanket pardons. The list keeps growing and growing. So when word hit the streets that Tory Lanez's name might be next up for consideration, people started paying attention real quick. This isn't just some random rumor either. Legal circles are buzzing about it, and Tory's team is reportedly preparing for this to actually happen. We're talking about a full presidential pardon that would wipe his conviction clean and set him free. Now here's the thing. Megan has been catching heat about this case non-stop for the past 5 years. Every single time something new pops up, she gets absolutely dragged all over social media. People calling her names, questioning her story, accusing her of lying to put an innocent man behind bars. It's been relentless. So imagine how she's feeling right now knowing that Tory could be walking out any day with his record cleared. The people who've been coming for her this whole time are about to feel vindicated, and they're not going to be quiet about it. And y'all know how the internet moves. Once Tory steps out of that prison, it's going to be absolute madness. Megan's credibility, her reputation, everything she's built since that night is on the line. The situation is already messy, but it's about to get so much worse. Okay, so let's rewind to that night when everything went down. You had Tory, Megan, her best friend Kelsey, and a bodyguard all packed in that car. When the trial happened,
David, Megan Thee Stallion's former best friend and assistant Kelsey Harris took the stand today.
That bodyguard was nowhere to be found. He just vanished. Nobody could explain why this person who saw everything refused to testify or give any kind of statement. It was suspicious as hell, and it left this massive gap in the story. Well, guess what? He's finally talking, and what he's saying is blowing people's minds. According to recent reports, this bodyguard, whose name is Bradley James, has come forward with a completely different version of events. He's claiming that Tory never fired that gun. Never. He says it was Kelsey the whole time. James is saying he heard Kelsey straight up admit that she fired the weapon. She allegedly shot 3 times before Tory grabbed her arm trying to stop her, which caused the gun to go off 2 more times. That's 5 shots total, and according to James, Tory was trying to prevent the shooting, not cause it. Now here's where it gets really interesting. During the actual trial, there was this eyewitness named Sean Kelly who testified that he saw 2 women fighting before someone broke them up. At the time, nobody really connected those dots. But now, with the bodyguard's statement lining up perfectly with Kelly's testimony, people are starting to see a completely different picture of what went down that night. Think about it. Multiple people who have no reason to lie for Tory are telling the same story. Two women fighting, a struggle over a weapon, and Tory trying to intervene. This isn't just one person's word against another anymore. The evidence is stacking up, and it's pointing away from Tory and straight at Kelsey. The crazy part is that this information could have changed everything if it came out during the trial. But the bodyguard stayed silent, and now, years later, he's speaking up. Why now? What finally made him come forward? Those are questions people are asking, and nobody has clear answers yet. The science doesn't lie. Forensic evidence that never made sense. Let's talk about the physical evidence for a second, because this is where things get really shaky. Tory's DNA was never definitively found on that gun. Not conclusively. The probability of his genetic material being on the weapon came back at 0.001%. That's basically nothing. That's close to zero. Legal experts and political analysts have been pointing this out for a while now. Deanna Lorden, who's a political strategist, has been super vocal about how weak the forensic evidence was in this case. She's even compared it to the Menendez brothers situation, where people who literally admitted to murder are being reconsidered for release because of issues with their trial. Then you've got people like Gianna Caldwell from the New York Post calling out the former LA County DA George Gascon. She's accusing him of railroading Tory by twisting gun enhancement charges to make him look like some kind of public menace. The argument is that these charges were manipulated to influence how the jury saw Tory before they even heard all the facts. When you step back and look at the forensic evidence, or really the lack of it, it raises serious questions. How do you convict someone of shooting another person when you can't even prove they touched the gun? Where's the gunpowder residue? Where's the DNA evidence? Where's anything physical that ties Tory to pulling that trigger? These aren't just random people on Twitter saying this stuff either. These are professionals with legal backgrounds and political experience publicly questioning whether this conviction was based on solid evidence or something else entirely. That's significant. That matters. And it's one of the big reasons why this pardon is even being discussed in the first place. Earlier this year, something happened in prison that added a whole new layer of darkness to this story. Tory got stabbed. And I'm not talking about a little prison scuffle that got out of hand.
Rapper Tory Lanez, who's currently serving a decade in prison for shooting Megan Thee Stallion, stabbed behind bars.
I'm talking about a vicious, brutal attack that nearly killed him. Reports say Tory was attacked at the California Correctional Institute in Tehachapi, and it was bad. He got stabbed 14 times. 7 wounds to his back, 4 to his torso, 2 to the back of his head, and 1 on his face. Both of his lungs collapsed. They had to rush him to an outside hospital in Bakersfield and put him on a breathing machine because he couldn't breathe on his own. His team put out a statement saying he was in critical condition but fighting to survive. They thanked people for their prayers and said Tory was grateful to God that he made it through. Eventually, he got off the breathing apparatus and started talking normally, but he was still in serious pain. Now here's where the conspiracy theories really took off. The guy who stabbed Tory is a lifer named Santino Castillo. This dude is already serving life in prison, and his criminal record goes back decades. He's convicted of violent crimes, and he's got nothing to lose. So people started asking, why would this random inmate target Tory specifically? Rumors immediately started flying that this was a hit. Not a random attack, but an ordered hit. Some people online started claiming that powerful people wanted Tory silenced before certain information could come out. And when you think about the timing of the bodyguard coming forward now after Tory almost got killed in prison, it makes you wonder. At the time when it happened, a lot of people on social media had no sympathy for Tory at all. People were saying he deserved it for shooting Megan, and that his suffering in prison was justice. But now, with all these questions about whether he was even guilty in the first place, that prison attack looks a whole lot more suspicious. Tory survived, but barely. And now, with the pardon possibility on the table, people are connecting dots and asking uncomfortable questions about who wanted him dead and why. To really understand why this pardon is such a massive deal, we need to go back to the beginning and break down what happened that night. It started with a gathering and ended with gunshots, blood, and years of legal hell for everyone involved. Megan was walking away from the vehicle when she got shot in the foot. She needed medical attention immediately. When the cops showed up, she told them she stepped on broken glass. She didn't say anything about getting shot or who did it. Nothing. Why would someone who just got shot lie to the police about it? Megan later explained that she was terrified. This was summer 2020, right in the middle of all the protests and tension with police. She said she was scared that if she told them someone had a gun and shots were fired, the situation could escalate and somebody could end up dead. So she lied to protect everyone in that car. For days after the incident, Megan stayed quiet. She didn't name anybody as the shooter. She didn't go public with her story. But according to her, Tory's team started spreading lies through blogs and media outlets. They were pushing false narratives about what happened, and that's when she decided enough was enough. She went on Instagram Live and called him out directly. She said Tory shot her, and his publicist was out here lying to everyone. It was raw, it was emotional, and it put everything out in the open for the world to see. But Tory's version of events is completely different. He claims he and Megan had been secretly involved romantically while he was also seeing Kelsey. When Kelsey found out about him and Megan, she was furious, and her anger was directed at Megan, not at him. According to Tory, the fight in the car that night was between Megan and Kelsey, and during that fight the gun went off. Tory says he never pulled the trigger. He says he was actually trying to stop the violence when the weapon discharged. In his version, he's not the shooter. He's the person caught in the middle of a toxic situation between two best friends who were both involved with him. He even tweeted about it later, saying, "Good relations got him messing with two best friends, and he got caught." He said that's what he was apologizing for. Not for shooting anyone, but for the messy situation he created by being involved with both women. Jay-Z, Rock Nation, and accusations that won't go away. One of the most explosive parts of this whole situation involves allegations about industry interference. Megan is signed to Rock Nation, which was founded by Jay-Z. And from the moment Tory got convicted, there have been accusations that Rock Nation used their power and influence to make sure he went down. Tory's father went absolutely off outside the courthouse after the verdict. He was emotional, he was angry, and he named names. He called out Jay-Z directly. He called out Alex Spiro, who's a high-powered lawyer connected to Rock Nation. He called out Desiree Perez, who's an executive at the company. He accused all of them of manipulating the legal process to ensure his son got convicted. Now were these just the desperate claims of a father watching his child get sent to prison? Or was there actually something to what he was saying? Tory himself has said that he received a threatening phone call from someone at Rock Nation before the trial. According to him, they told him it would be in his best interest not to make any public statements about what happened. The message was clear: stay quiet or else. These accusations gained a lot of traction online, especially among people who were already skeptical about celebrity influence in the justice system. Whether any actual interference happened has never been proven, but the claims haven't gone away either. If anything, they've gotten louder over time. Jay-Z hasn't said a word about any of this. Rock Nation hasn't issued statements addressing the specific allegations. Their silence could mean nothing, or it could mean everything. But either way, it's made people more suspicious about what might have been happening behind the scenes. From the second this story became public, Megan started catching heat from every direction. And I'm not talking about people just questioning her story. I'm talking about straight-up attacks on her character, her credibility, her career, everything. People called her a liar. They said she was making the whole thing up for attention. They accused her of trying to destroy a man's career for no reason. The harassment was non-stop, and it came from everywhere. Social media was brutal. Even people in the music industry started throwing shade. Drake dropped bars in songs that seemed to suggest Megan wasn't telling the truth. When someone that big publicly doubts your story, it amplifies the hate and makes everything worse. Megan's own fans started turning on her. People who used to support her were now questioning whether she was lying about the whole thing. She spoke about how much it hurt her in interviews. She said she felt like she became the villain somehow. She didn't understand why people weren't taking her pain seriously. She said, maybe it's because she's strong and people assume she can just handle anything. But she admitted she was struggling every single day trying to deal with the trauma while also defending herself against constant attacks. She said she didn't want people to see her cry because she didn't want to give them the satisfaction of knowing they were breaking her. But she also said she felt like nobody believed her, and that feeling was crushing. She made it clear that she wanted Tory to face real consequences. She wanted him to go to jail. She wanted accountability for what happened to her. And when he got convicted, she probably thought the worst was over, but it wasn't. The attacks never stopped. Every development in the case brought new waves of harassment and mockery. What this pardon really means for everyone involved. If this presidential pardon actually happens, the impact is going to be massive. For Tory, it means freedom. It means his conviction gets wiped away and he walks out of prison a free man. His supporters are going to celebrate like he just won the championship. They're going to see it as proof that they were right all along and that he was innocent. But for Meghan, this is her worst nightmare coming true. A pardon would be seen as official validation that something went wrong with the case. It would fuel every accusation that's been thrown at her for years. People are going to say she lied. They're going to say she ruined an innocent man's life. They're going to drag her harder than they ever have before. The thing is, even if Kelsey was the actual shooter, Meghan might not have been lying. She was walking away from the car when she got shot. She couldn't see who pulled the trigger. She'd just been arguing with Tory and he was close with Kelsey. In the chaos of that moment, believing Tory shot her made complete sense. It wasn't necessarily a lie. It could have been an honest mistake based on what she thought happened. Also, Meghan never filed civil charges against Tory. The criminal case was brought by the state, not by her. She didn't press charges. The prosecutors did. And right after the shooting, she protected everyone by lying to police about what happened. Those aren't the actions of someone on a revenge mission. But none of that is going to matter to the people who've been calling her a liar this whole time. They're not going to see nuance. They're not going to consider that she might have genuinely believed Tory was the shooter. They're just going to attack. For Tory, even if he gets out, the damage to his career and reputation is already done. He spent years in prison.
Tory, whose real name is Daystar Peterson, was sentenced to 10 years in prison.
He almost died from that stabbing. His music career was destroyed. Even with a pardon, he can't get that time back. He can't undo everything that happened. Right now, the internet is in a holding pattern, waiting to see if this pardon actually comes through. But the anticipation is building, and you can feel the tension everywhere. Both sides are preparing for war. Meghan's supporters are ready to defend her. Tory's supporters are ready to claim victory and go after everyone who doubted him. There's talk that once Tory gets out, he's coming for everyone who he believes wronged him. Whether that means legal action or just public call-outs, nobody knows yet. But the threat is there, and it's keeping people on edge. Meghan's team has been mostly quiet as all this develops. They're probably strategizing how to handle the fallout if the pardon becomes official. Because, make no mistake, the fallout is going to be intense. This situation has evolved way beyond a simple criminal case. It's become a cultural moment. It's about who we believe and why. It's about how social media shapes our perception of justice. It's about the consequences of rushing to judgment. And it's about what happens when the story everyone thought was finished suddenly rips wide open again. Both Meghan and Tory have been through hell because of that night. Both have had their lives completely altered. Both have supporters who believe them completely. And now, as this pardon possibility looms over everything, we're all about to see what happens when the ending everyone accepted gets rewritten. The chaos is coming. The streets are watching. And when Tory steps out of that prison, if he steps out, the internet is going to lose its mind. Meghan's reputation is on the line. Tory's vindication is on the line. And the truth about what really happened that night might finally come out. But one thing is for sure. This story is far from over, and the most explosive chapter is just beginning. Hopefully you have enjoyed the video. If yes, then like and subscribe the channel to get more insightful content.